Dental Associates, a Uniontown staple, has over 40 years' experience treating patients of all ages. Their caring, professional team of dentists and their staff offer a full range of dental services, including restorative, preventative, pediatric, cosmetic, and so much more. Visit GeorgeDentalAssociates.com today. That's GeorgeDentalAssociates.com and find out how they can enhance your smile through the art of dentistry. Are you considering a project design and don't know where to start? K2 Engineering offers a wide range of professional civil, architectural, and municipal services to meet your individual project needs. Our versatility combined with our personalized approach is what sets us apart as a full-service engineering and consultation firm. To learn more about our services, please visit us on the web at www.k2engineering.net. K2 Engineering, where customer service is our priority. Does your car sound like it's saying, "Trade me in, trade me in," every time you start it up? Well, go to Ford of Uniontown and trade it in. That's right, your Uniontown Ford dealer is ready to assist you with a new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV purchase. Ford of Uniontown has all the deals, all the inventory, and they are ready to deal. It has never been a better time to buy a Ford. Service is their top priority. No matter where you purchase your Ford car or truck, Ford of Uniontown will be happy to service it for you. They offer Ford-trained technicians, Ford-certified parts and service, 1-year, 12,000-mile parts warranties, and new state-of-the-art service equipment. Call or stop in today to see the hometown service of Ford of Uniontown, Route 40 West across from Applebee's. So listen to your car the next time you hear it say, "Trade me in, trade me in." Ford of Uniontown, Route 40 at the top of the hill.
Welcome back to York Run here, Albert Gallatin High School. Joshua Scully alongside Tony Anula, WMBS. We are about 30 seconds into this contest with the Uniontown Red Raiders up 2-0, and the Albert Gallatin Colonials working against the press. They've got the ball at half court. Uniontown looking to take it away. They nearly do. Fighting for control, Michael Belt. Belt wants to drive to the paint, pops it out to Shymir Wilson. Corner three is no good. And the ball is tipped out of bounds off the hands of number 35, Tyrone Burton, the freshman center for the Colonials, and it will be Uniontown Red Raider basketball. Calvin Winfrey will run point. Uniontown out in front 2-0 to get this one started. Ball goes to the wing to Grooms, back to the top of the key to Winfrey. Albert Gallatin moving with the ball. Back to Winfrey now, top of the key from Hager on the opposite wing, looking inside. And putting this one up will be Braxton, no good, but Winfrey's there with the offensive rebound and the easy lay-in, and it's 4-0, and the Red Raiders are all over the Colonials here in the first 2 minutes of this one. Another take and steal, and it's Calvin Winfrey to the bucket. He lays it in and is fouled on the way. So, Tony, a quick 6-0 lead here for the Uniontown Red Raiders.
Quick 6-0 lead, and this full-court pressure really giving Albert Gallatin a lot of trouble here so far, Josh.
6:42 to play. Calvin Winfrey to the line to shoot one. That shot is going to roll out. It will be a Blake White rebound for the Colonials, and the Colonials are on the attack. Belt trying the far sideline. He's cut off by Grooms. Ball moves back out to Blake White. He's someone to keep an eye on here for the Albert Gallatin Colonials. Very gifted young man, but he loses control of the ball to Jeremiah Hager on the pass attempt across to number 12, Jason Jackson, and it's another bucket for the Uniontown Red Raiders, and that's going to trigger a Coach Fleener timeout. We'll see the nature of that timeout. Coach Fleener on the court wants to talk to the officials, and the officials are going to walk him back to the huddle. We have no signal yet as to exactly what we're going to have. We'll have a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back here at York Run in 30 seconds.
The T-Berry Law Office and attorney Vincent M. T-Berry would like to thank everyone who voted them Best Law Firm and Criminal Defense Attorney in the 2023 Best in Fayette contest. The T-Berry Law Office specializes in criminal defense, wills and estates, family law, and personal injury. The T-Berry Law Office is located at 84 East Main Street, across the street from the Fayette County Courthouse in Uniontown. Make your first call to attorney Vincent M. T-Berry and the T-Berry Law Office. Phone 724-430-0300 or visit their new website at tberrylawoffice.com. The T-Berry Law Office. Small town, big results.
Welcome back to York Run. It's the Uniontown Red Raiders basketball once again, but losing control near the baseline is Calvin Winfrey. So the Colonials now will have a chance to send this one in from the R in Albert along the far baseline. The Colonials working left to right across your screen in their white uniform, black number and trim. Across the timeline is Shymir Wilson, but he has the ball nearly taken away by Calvin Winfrey. Winfrey diving across the sideline as he tries to save it. Ball will stay with Albert Gallatin. And so far, Tony, the Colonials, they have not had a chance to breathe. The Red Raiders are with them every step of the way.
I would agree. You're exactly right, Josh. I mean, they're having a tough time even getting a shot off. This defense has really turned up at a couple notches here tonight for Uniontown.
This is Belt looking to the high post spot in Jackson. Jackson's going to bring it back to the top of the key, move it far wing. Off of that far wing is Belt trying to make something happen. He loses control of the ball, nearly loses it across the baseline, saves it to Jackson. Back to high post now to White. White working off the far elbow, pulls it back for a three, and the Colonials are on the board. Blake White, who is their leading scorer, points per game coming into this one, drops down a big three, and it's 8-3 here at Albert Gallatin High School. The Red Raiders now going to move the ball all the way down, and it's an easy take for Jeremiah Hager inside off the McGlee pass, but he misses. The Red Raiders get the rebound. Now here's Braxton driving the lane. He collides with his own man, but gets the bucket anyway. Calvin Winfrey's going to be okay. He pops right back up onto his feet. Albert Gallatin looking to see if they can score here on 2 consecutive possessions for the first time tonight. It is 10-3. 5:01 to play in the first quarter. We've already seen a lot of action here as Wilson tries to drive against Grooms. Grooms nearly takes it away, but Wilson there strong enough to finish it off, and he gets 2. 10-5 is your score. The Colonials, Tony, now down just 2 possessions.
Yeah, nice job by Shymir Wilson to stay with that shot. Got blocked, but he was able to get the rebound and put it right back up.
3 from Grooms is no good, and the big man, Tyrone Burton, the freshman center for this Colonial team, easy rebound for him. And now it's going to be Shymir Wilson across the timeline. Wilson gets it to Blake White. White is way back near the timeline once again. He wants the screen, working against Calvin Winfrey. He's going to go opposite way, pops it to Wilson in the corner. Wilson, baseline drive to the near block, and he gets 2, and watch out, it's 10-7. The Colonials have found an answer here against the Uniontown Red Raiders with 4:15 to go in quarter number 1. Notorious Grooms, top of the key. Moves it over to Braxton on the wing, and now back to Grooms up top. Grooms on the drive, into the paint. Up and off the glass, no good. Good-looking rebound there, Calvin Winfrey. He tries to fire a pass across to Jeremiah Hager, but the ball will get away from the Uniontown Red Raiders. It is Colonial basketball, now down just 1 possession, Tony. This is what Coach Fleener has to be looking for out of his team.
That's exactly right, Josh, and really just a nervous start. But Uniontown starting off with an 8-0 run, but AG coming back.
And now Blake White floats one up from high post, no good. Calvin Winfrey with another rebound. Calvin really getting it done off the boards tonight. He's pulled down quite a few off the glass. He goes to Braxton on the far wing. Now back to Winfrey. Winfrey brings it way back, and Blake White is going to follow him out. Now he moves it to our wing to Braxton. Braxton nearly double teamed there. Back to Winfrey, over to Grooms. Now back to Winfrey up top. Winfrey wants to shoot. High post jumper just off the front of the rim. No good. The Uniontown Red Raiders here have gone a little bit cold. Now the big pass ahead to Belt. Belt nearly beats everybody down the floor. He is caught by he's caught by Kadrian McGlee. And McGlee is going to pick up the foul. In doing so, that will send the Colonials to the foul line, down just 3. That is the first foul against Kadrian.
And the first team foul against Uniontown, but it was in the act of shooting. And Belt's going to miss the first.
The first one from Michael Belt is no good. Belt, the senior guard, listed at 6 foot. We're going to see a substitution here for the Colonials. Checking back in, number 12. Jason Jackson, checking in for the first time, number 10, Evan Strimmel, and that will send Jackson down to the middle slot. No rebound there. The foul shot is good. It is 10-8 as Calvin Winfrey receives the inbound pass. The Colonials not quite showing the pressure the Red Raiders have. Floating alley-oop nearly to Notorious Grooms from Jeremiah Hager. Grooms cannot quite finish it. And now Albert Gallatin on the attack once again. Here's Wilson operating out of our corner. Matched up against Jeremiah Hager. Hager, one of the very tall 2 Red Raiders on this team right now on the floor, both listed at 6'5", and Hager doing a good job. Very good job, Tony. He triggers a travel there out of the Albert Gallatin guard, number 24, Shymir Wilson.
Yeah, I don't think Wilson agreed with the call, but he definitely shuffled his feet prior to taking that shot. Now you're going to have a couple substitutes for Uniontown. It's going to be Kellen Milsom and Isaac Ellsworth checking in.
Ball with Braxton now, top of the key to Grooms, over to Ellsworth. Ellsworth is going to be fouled near the far sideline. That's number 3, Michael Belt. with the hold. So the Uniontown Red Raiders ahead by just 2 with 2:47 to play here in quarter number 1. A big crowd on hand tonight, Tony. People everywhere. The Albert Gallatin Colonials really want to give themselves every chance. They've brought the sixth man, so to speak. He's here tonight.
Yes, they did. Good crowd and a loud crowd as well.
And Braxton's drive the lane there will not count. And it will be Colonial basketball. Coach Rob Kaczmarski not pleased with that call. 2:41 to play here in quarter number 1. The Colonials anticipating pressure, and they're going to see it here. The Uniontown Red Raiders are right up there with them. Blake White to our sideline and Shymir Wilson. Wilson avoids the double team, goes back to White. Now tries to float one over Ellsworth's head. Gets it back to Wilson. Wilson to our block, floats one up, no good. And it's going to be Braxton with the rebound. Braxton dribbling out of traffic. Will he go coast to coast to the paint? Floating one up, no good. Off the front of the rim. The Uniontown Red Raiders need to take the lid off of that basket. Coming the other way now is Strimmel. Strimmel gets cut off. Sends it back out to Jackson. Now top of the key to White. He's a dangerous man. Has the ball stripped away, though, and now everybody's in on the basketball. And we're going to have a travel, Tony.
Wow.
Did not see that coming.
I did not either. Actually, thought we might even get a 3-second call there for a minute, but they called White with shuffling his feet underneath.
And the Uniontown Red Raiders student section, which has faithfully traveled here to York Run, letting Albert Gallatin know about that one. Here's Braxton now. High post for Uniontown. Sends one back up to Winfrey. Winfrey on the cut. Loses control of the basketball, but it's off the hands of number 3, Michael Belt. On the way out, the ball goes across the baseline, and we'll stay with Uniontown. Stepping out is number 11 for Uniontown, Isaac Ellsworth, to send this one in. He goes to Braxton. Now to Winfrey on the far wing. Coming our way to Milsom and back to Winfrey. Now to Ellsworth on the far sideline. The Red Raiders really moving the ball around well. It's going to end up with Milson for 3. No good, but Notorious Grooms, who got way off the floor there for the rebound, cannot get the putback. This time the rebound goes to number 10, Milsom, and Milsom does finish it off, and the Red Raiders are back ahead by 4, and this pass is going to be sent out of bounds, and Coach Fleener, I think Tony wants a tip call there. He's not going to get it.
I thought it was actually tipped as well, and referees did not see it on this side.
Braxton sends this one into Winfrey. Big pass over to Grooms. Grooms looking for 1,000 points. He's very close. He looks inside to Braxton on the pass, and Braxton is fouled on the drive. That will send him to the foul line, with the Red Raiders ahead 12-8 and 1:26 to play here in quarter number 1. The Uniontown Red Raiders, of course, in their away maroon uniform, white number, white trim. They're working right to left across your screen if you're joining us on Facebook Live. And we want to thank all of you who are checking us out on the radio as well. 590 AM, 101.1 FM. First shot from Braxton is good. This is the 87th year on the airwaves for WMBS. And we very much appreciate all of you who are checking us out tonight. A big basketball night here in the Uniontown area. Of course, Laurel Highlands also in action tonight. You can check their game out on Facebook as well. Here's the second shot from Braxton. That one no good. Rebound is going to be pulled down by Albert Gallatin's Michael Belt. Belt's going to keep it himself. He drives all the way, gets tripped up and loses the ball, and it goes right to Jameer Braxton, who goes ahead to Winfrey. Winfrey gets cut off on his drive, goes back inside to Braxton, and this is a loose ball once again. Ball must be quite slippery there, Tony. Virtually everyone on the court had a hand on it for one moment only.
Wow, how about that shot?
Albert Gallatin answers here on the attack. Evan Strimmel laying one in, taking advantage of all the confusion. I don't think anyone knew where the basketball was. Milsom's going to drive the other way for Uniontown, and he is going to be called with a charge.
How about Strimmel's shot? That little hook shot, a running hook shot to get it over defender. Great job.
He's listed at just 5'6" and did not hesitate to drive the lane and lay that one in. Ball goes here to Wilson. Wilson going to face Grooms and Winfrey. And he's going to move it to Strimmel. Strimmel working the far sideline, draw some contact against Milsom. And all of a sudden now, Tony, the Uniontown Red Raiders have picked up their 4th team foul. And I suspect we're going to see a momentary stoppage in play here as a banner has fallen off the wall at Albert Gallatin High School.
Yeah, they were having a little trouble with the adhesive in the JV game. And finally came down during the varsity game.
Ball sent in here to number 3, Michael Belt. Belt on the attack, cut off on our wing. Coming up to help him is Strimmel. Strimmel, top of the key, sends it away from us. Ball now in the hands of Shymir Wilson. Wilson, of course, the junior guard, very active player for this team, helping the Colonials work against this press. This time, though, he's going to be tripped by Calvin Winfrey as he looked to drive, and that is going to be yet another foul called against the Uniontown Red Raiders.
Well, that's going to be the 4th team foul, but only 25 seconds left to go in this first quarter. You know, with the rule change, it has to be 5 fouls, so.
And that's going to work to Uniontown favor here. Ball goes into Strimmel. Strimmel drives around the block, puts up a jumper, no good. Strong rebound by Braxton. Big pass ahead now to Grooms. Grooms operates out of the corner, goes back to Braxton, who makes some contact inside, and it's going to be against the Albert Gallatin Colonials.
They're going to call a block. That's going to be on number 11. I'm sorry, that's going to be on Strimmel, excuse me. And that's also the 14th foul. They're going to call it a shooting foul.
And so Braxton back at the foul line for the Uniontown Red Raiders, who lead 13-10. Braxton, first shot is good.
Braxton, I'm sorry, Josh. He came in as a 90% free throw shooter. 28 of 31 coming into this game. 2 for 3 now at the line tonight.
He's done a nice job so far in this game. Done some work off the glass for Uniontown, too. He gets both here. Ball comes in for Albert Gallatin. Blake White going to move this one ahead. Ball goes ahead now to Belt. And one more pass to Strimmel on our wing. Back to Belt, who looks to drive the lane. Floats one up for 2, and it's good. 15-12 your score, and floating one last prayer up is Calvin Winfrey, who got really close on that one, Tony. We've played one quarter here at York Run. It's Uniontown 15 and Albert Gallatin 12. We'll be right back here at Albert Gallatin High School.
Attorney Thomas W. Schaefer litigated over 275 civil and criminal trials, some of which have been aired on Oprah, Inside Edition, and ESPN. Having an engineering degree, master's in business administration, and law degree qualifies him to go toe-to-toe with anyone. His firm concentrates in wills, trusts, estates, property transfers, personal injury, solar field and Marcellus gas negotiations, and family law. Small enough to care and smart enough to win. Phone 724-425-1162 or email TommySchaefer@hotmail.com.
Houston Chiropractic Studio is the new chiropractic office in town. Located inside Spin Unlimited, just behind the Texas Roadhouse, Dr. Stephen Lint and Dr. Brooke Sova are well-versed in the latest chiropractic and soft tissue techniques to help you get out of pain and functioning at your best. Call 724-912-6505 or go online at www.brucewellness.com for more information or to schedule your appointment.
Welcome back to Albert Gallatin High School. Joshua Scully alongside Tony Hanula. A really good first quarter here between the Colonials and the Red Raiders. Uniontown leads by only 3 points. And the Uniontown Red Raiders, of course, 9-0, looking to go 10-0 here and stay perfect on the season. The Colonials, though, not giving them anything easy, Tony, not so far at least.
Not at all. Uniontown jumped out to that quick 8-0 lead. But the Colonials fight back, and now only down 3 going into second quarter.
Top of the key, Wilson thinks about a shot, pulls it back down, working against Notorious Grooms. Thinks about a shot again. Now wants to go Blake White on the cut, but the ball is taken away by Calvin Winfrey to Grooms, back to Winfrey. And Winfrey puts one up, no good. The rebound goes between several players, is ultimately pulled down by Albert Gallatin's number 3, Michael Belt. Belt cut off by Hager, and the pass to Strimmel in the corner is knocked out of bounds across the sideline. Off the hands of number 1, Jeremiah Hager, one of 2 big men for this Uniontown Red Raider team, which has gone back to their original starting lineup. That other big man, Kadrian McGlee, parked inside in the paint right now. McGlee, of course, listed as 6'5". Correction on that, listed at 6'6". Ball comes in here to Strimmel. Strimmel on the drive, working against Hager. Runs out of real estate, fires a pass back that's stolen by Winfrey. Winfrey driving hard the other way, goes to Notorious Grooms for 3. Shot no good. Rebound, Braxton inside, working hard. And he gets some help. A nice move there for Uniontown, and 2 more points. The Red Raiders go up 17-12.
I think that was Grooms on that basket. I wasn't real sure.
There was a lot of traffic. Yeah, I think it was Grooms. Everybody was in the paint at that point. Good job, Notorious, for getting some real elevation on the jump, getting his hands up near the rim and finishing that one off. Albert Gallatin does have their young man, the freshman center, number 35, Tyrone Burton, and he's done a pretty good job inside considering he's matched up against a senior in Kadrian McGlee. Burton and McGlee together take up a lot of real estate in the center of the paint. Uniontown Red Raider basketball. Grooms moves it far wing to Braxton, now into the corner to Calvin Winfrey. Braxton's going to cut through. Winfrey's going to bring it out. Goes to the far wing. Brings it top of the key to Grooms to our wing now. The Colonials playing some great defense here. Back to Winfrey, top of the key. Looks inside to McGlee. Now back to Winfrey. High post jumper is no good. Bounces out. Good rebound there by McGlee. Has it stripped away. He's going to move it back up top to Grooms. Grooms resets the play. Brings it out to Winfrey. Winfrey wants to go here to Braxton. Braxton, little drive off the wing. Shot's no good, but McGlee's going to easily finish that one off. And Kadrian McGlee wanted everybody to be reminded there that he is, in fact, 6'6", and you saw all 6'6" of him there getting up for that. And now he intercepts the big pass, Tony. Kadrian McGlee getting it done again. Unfortunately, McGlee's pass ahead to Braxton, knocked away by Blake White, but the ball is going to be called out of bounds off of White, so it is Red Raider basketball. The Red Raiders back ahead by 7. McGlee, high post. Moves this one into the corner, into our corner to Winfrey. Now a big pass over to Grooms, top of the key. Our wing to Braxton, back to Grooms. The Red Raiders moving the ball very quickly here. Now Grooms wants to keep it. Quick fire pass inside, and a good bucket for Braxton off the far block. It's 21-12 with 6 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Pass comes into Belt. Belt with Grooms with him every step, and Tony Grooms doing too good a job there. He's going to pick up a foul.
Yeah, they're going to call him for that little hip check, and that's going to be Grooms' first. And Braxton picking up where he left off in that Aliquippa game. He's got 7 points here tonight, leading the Red Raiders in game-high score right now.
Checking in for the Albert Gallatin Colonials, number 12, the junior forward Jason Jackson. Jackson going to replace Burton. Ball goes ahead here to Strimmel on our wing. Strimmel wants to drive, and Strimmel once again up off the glass. This time no good. The Red Raiders quick on the attack. They go right back to Braxton. Braxton coast to coast puts one up. No good. Rebound pulled down by number 3, Michael Belt, and Belt's going to be fouled.
I think it's going to be on Winfrey, and that's going to be a big foul. That's his second.
And
they did call it on Winfrey, correct? It kind of looked like he gave the number 3, but obviously there's no number 3 out there, so we're going to say that's on Calvin, and that's going to be his second.
And Tony, I think you make a good point, because the official needs to go over to the score table now and confirm the number, as number 21 checks in for the Albert Gallatin Colonials.
Yeah, that foul's on Winfrey is right, and that's going to be his second. So now Calvin's got to be careful with 5:39 to go in his second quarter.
Blake White moving it over to Jackson. Now ahead, this is going to be a 3 from Belt, no good, and it's going to be number 21, the other Belt on this Colonial team, fighting hard for the rebound, manages to get it away from Calvin Winfrey, and now Grooms tied up with the basketball against Shymir Wilson, and the foul is going to be called against Grooms.
And quickly now, Grooms with 2, Winfrey with 2, and Kellen Milsom, who checked in and then checked back out after he picked up his second foul. So now the Uniontown Red Raiders got to worry about some foul trouble.
Indeed, with 5:23 to play. Ball comes in here to Wilson. Wilson matched up against Grooms. Grooms going to work with him. As Wilson moves, so does Grooms. A handoff pass here to Blake White. And Winfrey's with White. Blake White, of course, one of the more dangerous players on this Colonial roster. He wants a screen. Now he's going to call the play. Screen is coming for him, and he's going to use that screen, but he's cut off right away by Kadrian McGlee, and Winfrey going to regain his footing here and be right back with him. Pass goes now to Jackson, and the ball is stripped away by Winfrey. Ahead to Grooms. Grooms on the attack all the way for 2, and it's good. And the Uniontown Red Raiders extend their lead 23-12 now, as the Colonials trying to work quickly here and not let the Red Raiders get reset, but Kadrian McGlee delivers a devastating block against number 3, Michael Belt. The ball now in the hands of Notorious Grooms on our wing. Looking over to Calvin Winfrey, now inside to Hager. Quick pass back to Notorious Grooms for 3. No good. Nice work there by Hager to save that one. Now it's Blake White and Calvin Winfrey both on the floor after the basketball. And, Tony, we'll wait and see exactly the nature of the call here.
I think it's going to be a 30-second timeout.
And, Tony, that means we'll be right back here in 30 seconds at York Run, Albert Gallatin High School, where Uniontown leads 23-12.
Your health is the most important thing to you. When you need physical therapy, find the best clinic to serve you. Movement Physiotherapy, now located off Route 40 on Pedro Drive, west of Uniontown, understands this and wants to help ease the stress. Tyler Gasick has over 10 years of experience helping people improve their health with physical therapy and is ready to help you. Tyler's from the Uniontown area and is committed to helping improve his community. To schedule your appointment, phone 724-912-PTPT or visit Movement Physiotherapy online at movementpp.com.
I'm Bill Martin, and along with my partner Trip Radcliffe and Rob Harper, are attorneys at Radcliffe Martin Law. Our primary focus at Radcliffe Martin Law is representing people hurt in accidents. However, we handle workers' compensation claims, estate planning, real estate matters, and class actions. Radcliffe Martin Law is your hometown firm that offers conveniences not possible with Pittsburgh firms and provides better service than those firms. Radcliffe Martin Law, your local injury attorneys. 724-439-3939.
Welcome back to York Run here, where the Uniontown Red Raiders lead 23-12, 4:14 to play Notorious Grooms has just been fouled by the Albert Gallatin Colonials, and it will be Uniontown basketball. The Colonials previously had missed an inside look and went to Uniontown on the rebound. Now the pass comes into Calvin Winfrey, who launches a jumper immediately. No good. Colonials rebound. Pass goes ahead to Wilson. Wilson's going to launch a deep jumper of his own. That was a three. No good. And it's going to be Kadrian McGlee on the rebound. Notorious Grooms working ahead to Winfrey. Now out of our corner, Braxton. Good-looking pass there to Kadrian McGlee. Nice work by Braxton to find his teammate McGlee for an easy two.
Just couldn't get it to go.
Oh, my, Tony. I got to tell you what, the railing here was perfectly in the way. I thought that shot was good.
No.
McGlee going to get a second chance on the Uniontown rebound. Going ahead, though, to Jeremiah Hager. And Hager is fouled on the take.
They're going to call that as a charge. They're going to wipe the basket off, too.
Wow.
So Hager's going to pick up his first foul. Now Isaac Ellsworth is going to check in for Hager.
That's a tough call, Tony. That's a very, very tough call.
Yeah. And now all of a sudden you got two guys on the AG side also with 2 fouls. You've got Mikkel Belt with 2 and Jason Jackson with 2.
The Uniontown Red Raiders now 4 fouls as a team, and that means Albert Gallatin's going to be shooting on the next one with the new rules regarding the bonus and foul shots. Here's the Colonials working out of our corner now. Wilson moves it to White. This is a deep three from Blake White. No good. Hard off the glass. Rebound goes to Kadrian McGlee, who flips it over to Notorious Grooms. Ball ahead now to Braxton. Braxton has this one partially blocked out of the corner, and we may get a foul call here, though, Tony.
They're going to call that on Blake White. Shea Fleener does not agree with that call, and they're going to call it a 3-shot foul. So Braxton to head to the line. He's 3 for 4 tonight, and as we said, 90% free throw shooter on the year.
This could be big for Uniontown. Ahead now 11 points with 3:15 to play in quarter number 2. Braxton's first one is good. 24-12. The Uniontown Red Raiders looking to close out this half strong after the Colonials really made them work in the first quarter. Second shot good. 25-12.
And the Uniontown Red Raiders came in shooting 75% from the line as a team. That's something we haven't seen for a long time.
You got to love that number, Tony. Blake White with the rebound here as Braxton misses the last one. And the Colonials now going to see if they can't get a shot. Ball goes back to Jackson. Jackson at the top of the key with the drive, floats one up. May have been blocked there. And the rebound is going to go to several different players as the ball bounces around. Ends up with Albert Gallatin Colonial number 1, Chase White, who launches a 3. No good. And this one does go to Uniontown. Somehow no one able to corral that previous rebound. Coming the other way for Uniontown, Calvin Winfrey easily lays in 2 off the glass, and it's 27-12. And Jackson's pass ahead to Blake White is going to be jumped, and now you can really start to sense some frustration from this Colonial team, and that's going to trigger a timeout. We'll have a timeout taken. 29-12 your score, 2:36 to play, and we have a timeout here at Albert Gallatin High School, a full timeout. We'll be back with you in 60 seconds.
Casey's Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown and owned by the Vernon family, wants you to know they have new evening hours. And those new hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday and 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the weekends. Come to Casey's Sports Cafe and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. Casey's can also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126.
Accidents can happen at any time. At Stewart Collision Service in Uniontown, we are here to repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Have dents? Stewart Collision Service does paintless dent repair. So give us a call at 724-437-9381 or stop by 73 East Fayette Street for all your collision needs. We work with all insurances. Stewart Collision supports our local high school sports team and wish you the best this season. That's Stewart Collision Service, 73 East Fayette Street in Uniontown, 724-437-9381.
Welcome back to Albert Gallatin High School as the Uniontown Red Raiders still a pass that was going across the timeline. Braxton stills it, finishes it off himself. Tony, as you pointed out during the break, the Colonials have not yet scored this quarter, and the frustration with this Albert Gallatin team is becoming apparent, especially right now.
Most definitely, Josh. They're being outscored 16-0 here so far in this second quarter. So the Red Raiders just ratcheting up their defense. A lot of turnovers, and Albert Gallatin just cannot make a basket here in his second quarter at all.
31-12 the score at present, 2:08 to play. Braxton takes the pass from Winfrey across the timeline, back to Winfrey. Now goes to the corner, Notorious Grooms. Corner three, no good. And the ball going to be seized here eventually by the Colonials. That is probably the third or fourth time in this game that we've seen a rebound really escape the clutches of several different players. This is going to be Blake White working off of our wing into the paint. Floats one up, and he's going to be fouled on the way to the basket. And Tony, if this looks to be the case, that could be foul number 3 against Notorious Grooms.
And it is going to be foul number 3 on Grooms. So with 1:45 to go in this second quarter, Notorious is going to have to check out. Checking in is going to be Milsom, who has to be careful as well. He's got 2 fouls. Coach Kizmarski cannot get an explanation that he's happy with here.
At the foul line, Blake White. The first one is no good, rolling across the rim and out. Milsom does indeed check in for Notorious Grooms. And Blake White going to step up here for a second shot. And another important factor here, Tony, now with that 5th foul, the Colonials will shoot the rest of the way this quarter.
Correct.
And the second one also no good, so the rebound goes to McGlee. He gets it over to Braxton. Braxton ahead to Winfrey. Quick pass ahead to Milsom. Milsom going to attack off the baseline, and he's blocked. Blake White coming up with the big block there. The ball goes across the baseline. We'll stay with Uniontown. Calvin Winfrey stepping out. He's right on the R in Albert. Sends this one into Braxton. Braxton off our wing. Nice move, and the shot is good. And Braxton, what a game he's had so far, Tony.
He's got 10 points in this quarter alone. 15 for the game.
And now Braxton's going to steal the pass as Wilson was looking ahead, and it's 2 more, Tony. Braxton is red hot.
Braxton having a great game against the team that he played with his sophomore year.
In fact, Tony, we talked about that pregame. The last time these Albert Gallatin Colonials beat the Uniontown Red Raiders, December 14, 2021, Jameer Braxton was on the opposite side of that contest.
Yep. Came back now and playing with a vengeance. And another big call. Calvin Winfrey picks up his 3rd foul. So now both starting guards, Winfrey and Notorious Grooms, on the bench for the remaining 1 minute and 11 seconds of this second quarter.
35-12, the Uniontown advantage at present. The Albert Gallatin Colonials will have number 12, the junior forward, Jason Jackson, at the foul line. And his first shot is no good. And Tony, even with some help from the foul line, the Colonials just cannot figure out how to put another point on the scoreboard here this quarter.
The Colonials now 1 for 5 from the line in this first half. Jackson came in as a 50% free throw shooter, 3 for 6.
And the second one from Jackson, not close. So the rebound is going to be pulled down by Uniontown's number 14, Eric Townsend. And the Red Raiders, not having Grooms or Winfrey, will turn this ball over. It's going to be Blake White coming 100 miles an hour the other way, but he misses, and the foul is going to be called on Braxton.
Braxton went up for the block.
And I think Braxton thought he had the block.
I think he did too, but I think he bodied up. Blake White took it strong to the basket, but he just got body along with the block. So now White back to the foul line. He's 0 for 2 from the line. He's got 3 points tonight so far.
And Tony, as I'm sure our listeners can appreciate, Blake White, the 6'2 senior forward, in this kind of setting at home against your crosstown rival, you need one of these seniors for this Colonial team to put his foot down and say, I'm putting this on the scoreboard in quarter number 2. White misses the first shot, but he's going to have another chance here to do just that.
It's kind of hard to believe that they have not been able to score 1 point in this second quarter.
And White misses both. Rebound goes to Braxton. Braxton's thinking about taking it himself. He flips it out here at the last moment to Ellsworth. Ellsworth launches the 3, no good. Rebound pulled down by Milsom inside, goes up for 2, and it's 37-12 with 44 seconds to play. The Uniontown Red Raiders not missing a beat. Pass here to Belt. Moves it ahead. Nice move there by Evan Strimble, but he is blocked by McGlee, and going the other way for Uniontown. And picking up a foul on the far end is number 10, Kellen Milsom.
I think it's going to be on Jackson. I think.
Oh, my apologies, Tony.
No,
I thought Milsom was shooting
you're
there,
quite
so
all right.
It's going to be Ellsworth shooting.
Yep, Ellsworth shooting, but it's going to be Jason Jackson's 3rd foul also. So now Ellsworth knocks down the first.
And number 11, Isaac Ellsworth, the 5'10 sophomore guard, puts the Red Raiders ahead 38-12. 31 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Ellsworth now preparing for his second shot. This one is good. And it's going to be Jackson gathering the ball quickly, sending it into number 3, Michael Belt. Belt back to Jackson. Jackson with Braxton right on him. Back across to Belt. Belt working off the far sideline, goes middle, moves the ball ahead here to his brother. And we're going to have a whistle blown. They're going to say that the Colonials had the ball across the baseline before the pass to the younger Belt. Tony, it's going to be Uniontown basketball with 19 seconds to play.
Well, I would imagine they're going to hold for one. Robbie's giving them the signal to hold for one shot. Not a good pass there.
Saved by the Red Raiders. Now this is going to be Ellsworth. Corner 3 is good. And Isaac Ellsworth knocks down a big one, 42-12. 5 seconds to play. The Colonials may have one last shot of their own. They're going to be tied up on the far sideline, and I don't think they're going to get that shot. They will not. Pulling the ball down here and just saving it, number 10, Evan Strimmel. And that's going to be your first half. The Uniontown Red Raiders 42-12. And Tony, I'm really glad you pointed that out. That's an incredible stat. The Colonials do not score in quarter number 2.
Exactly. Did not put a point on the board. And now with the 30-point lead, we're going to be looking at a running clock the whole second half.
Indeed. We'll pause here briefly and be right back at Albert Gallatin High School for the halftime show.
Looking for a fast, friendly notary service? Sandy Howell Notary Services, LLC, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, PA, is here to help with transfers, plate renewals, new PA plates, and more. They serve Uniontown, Smithfield, Fairchance, and surrounding areas. Open weekday evenings starting at 5:30 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sandy Howell Notary Services, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, 724-564-8955. Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you by name.
This is Dr. Fraser Stokes. Problems with swallowing are common, and they're often ignored. They occur in people of all ages, and they have causes that are highly treatable. Drs. Ruthart, Calabrese, Hoppy, and I specialize in the care of swallowing disorders. To seek help, call our team at U.S. Digestive Health at 724-437-7677.
The Sea Harbor Auto Group is bringing service to your door with the exclusive Sea Harbor Service Valet. Just call to schedule your next service appointment, and we'll come pick up your car and drop it off after the work is finished. We'll even wash it for you. Call us today at 724-930-7766 to schedule your next appointment. Pickup and delivery with white glove service. Never wait in a service lounge again. Call us today at 724-930-7766.
It's just that easy. Find more snuggle time this winter and be prepared for the cold with the help of First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County. With a home improvement loan, a home equity loan, or home equity line of credit, you can finally upgrade that old furnace, take care of that leaking roof, or replace those outdated floors. Keep the cold out and the warm and cozy in your home this winter. Visit a loan officer today or apply online at ffgc.bank. First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 458-729.
Pizza, beer, atmosphere. It's all at Mom Maruka's Pizza, located on Barton Mill Road in Uniontown. Mom Maruka's is your prime spot to enjoy local high school sports. Family owned and operated, the Sampson family carries on the tradition of homemade pizza, salads, wings, and the best Italian hoagie and homemade bruschetta in town. Mom Maruka's is open Monday through Saturday from 4 to 10 for indoor and outdoor dining and takeout. Don't forget Mom's catering services for your next party or gathering. Call 724-438-9066 or visit MomMarukaPizza.com for their menu and live music schedule.
Attorney Thomas W. Schaefer litigated over 275 civil and criminal trials, some of which have been aired on Oprah, Inside Edition, and ESPN. Having an engineering degree, master's in business administration, and law degree qualifies him to go toe-to-toe with anyone. His firm concentrates in wills, trusts, estates, property transfers, personal injury, solar field and Marcellus gas negotiations, and family law. Small enough to care and smart enough to win. Phone 724-425-1162 or email TommySchaefer@hotmail.com. Looking for a dentist? Dr. Michael George and Dr. Ashley Parker of George Dental Associates, a Uniontown staple, has over 40 years' experience treating patients of all ages. Their caring, professional team of dentists and their staff offer a full range of dental services, including restorative, preventative, pediatric, cosmetic, and so much more. Visit GeorgeDentalAssociates.com today. That's GeorgeDentalAssociates.com and find out how they can enhance your smile through the art of dentistry.
How are you? Good.
Hanula, and we are at halftime here, 42-12. the Uniontown Red Raider advantage. The Albert Gallatin Colonials did not score in quarter number 2. It was all Uniontown Red Raiders. And, Tony, that was after a really impressive first quarter from the Albert Gallatin Colonials. They really came out, were filling it, played well, battled back in after falling behind early, and then in the second quarter, it was a whole different ball game.
Yeah, they just couldn't get anything to go, and it was one of those things, Josh, where we kind of thought the way it worked out there in that first quarter, thought it was going to be a lot closer, but just the lid on the basket, and unbelievably, they just could not put a score on the board. So it's kind of surprising. But, you know, we worried about the foul trouble for Uniontown. But at this point, you've got Grooms with 3, Winfrey with 3, and Kellen Milsom with 2. But with this 30-point lead and a running clock in the second half, it's really not going to matter much.
Uniontown Red Raiders will have the advantage of that 30-point lead and will be able to be certainly more flexible with who they send in and win. And as you point out, Tony, those fouls often were sending the Colonials to the foul line.
Exactly.
They could have picked up some easy points at the foul line. They couldn't even get a foul shot to stick in the second quarter.
Yeah, they were 0 for 6 from the foul line, and they're 1 for 8 for the game. So it's a little tight right now, and I don't know what Shea Fleener would say to him at halftime, but, you know, it's just kind of tough. You feel bad for the team. I mean, obviously, you never want to see that happen, but I'll tell you, man, it's Uniontown ratcheted up that defense and really forced a ton of turnovers, and that was the difference in the game so far.
And that was with the Uniontown Red Raiders absorbing a couple of tough charge calls. The one called against Jeremiah Hager stands out in my mind, but I know there was at least one other. That being said, the Red Raiders have got some really strong performances tonight, especially out of Braxton, who, as you pointed out in the second quarter, was just on a run of his own, playing his own game, so to speak, and really put a lot of points on the board.
I agree, and we'll go over these stats real quick for you. In the first half for the Uniontown Red Raiders, they were led by Jameer Braxton, who had 17 points. 12 of those came in the second quarter. He was followed by Calvin Winfrey, who had 6. Isaac Ellsworth off the bench with 5, including a made 3. 4 points from Notorious Grooms, 4 from Jeremiah Hager, and 4 from Kellen Milsom off the bench, and 2 points from Kadrian McLee. 15 points in the first, 27 in the second, for their total of 42. They had 1 made 3, and that was by Ellsworth, and they were 7 for 10 from the foul line in that first half. For the Albert Gallatin Colonials, they were led in that first half by Shamir Wilson, who had 4 points. Blake White had a made 3. Mikal Belt had had 3 points, and Evan Strimmel had a made basket. They scored 12 in the first, and as we mentioned, got shut out in that second quarter for their total of 12. They were 1 for 8 from the foul line, and the only made 3 was Blake White, who knocked one down in that first quarter.
And, Tony, you know, in that second quarter, the Colonials did have some looks at the basket. That basket in the first quarter from Evan Strimmel stands out in my mind because we were so impressed by the way that he did not hesitate to go to the basket. The Colonials did have some good attacks at the basket in quarter number 2, and they just could not get one to fall down.
No. And couldn't get it to fall on it. Well, on the other side, too, you had McLee with probably about 3 or 4 blocks in that second quarter alone, but really just nothing going. They had a couple threes that they threw up, but just could not make a basket. So right now, the Uniontown Red Raiders looking to go to 10-0 and really strong start with a 30-point lead here at half.
Coach Fleener and his Albert Gallatin Colonial squad back on the court. Of course, Uniontown also back on the floor now, too. We want to thank you for joining us, 590 AM, 101.1 FM, as well as Facebook Live. We very much appreciate your viewership. 87 years on the air for WMBS. We'll be right back here at Albert Gallatin High School in about 120 seconds. We'll talk to you then.
Is here to meet your accounting, tax service, and real estate management needs. Call Bruce Beard at 724-417-4958. 724-417-4958. Good luck and best wishes to the Laurel Highlands Mustangs and the Uniontown Red Raiders. From Bruce.
Ready to update your home? Find what you need at Zen's Construction Warehouse. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff will be happy to help you the old-fashioned way. They'll answer your questions and get you started on your next home project. Conveniently located at 485 Walnut Hill Road in Continental. Zen's is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 2. For more information, call 724-366-8274 2024. Or visit Zen's Construction Warehouse's Facebook page. Zen's Construction Warehouse, their surplus is your savings.
The Sea Harbor Auto Group is bringing service to your door with the exclusive Sea Harbor Service Valet. Just call to schedule your next service appointment, and we'll come pick up your car and drop it off after the work is finished. We'll even wash it for you. Call us today at 724-930-7766 to schedule your next appointment. Pickup and delivery with white glove service. Never wait in a service lounge again. Call us today at 724-930-7766.
It's just that easy.
Looking for the highest quality products at the lowest prices? Shop and save on Walnut Hill in Uniontown has the widest selection of brands and the freshest offerings around. They specialize in your family's grocery needs. Save big and sign up for the Shop and Save Perks card to get money-saving benefits and discounts on gas. Shop and save. Walnut Hill Road, Uniontown, open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. Working hard to offer you the best at Shop and Save because it's the just right thing to do.
Welcome back to York Run. Joshua Scully alongside Tony Hanula here on WMBS. The Albert Gallatin Colonials and the Uniontown Red Raiders ready to go here for quarter number 3. We have switched directions, so of course the Colonials now working right to left across the floor and Uniontown left to right. We do have a score for you from across town. The Laurel Highlands Mustangs trail 53-41 to Elizabeth Ford. Here, it's Uniontown ahead 42-12. The Colonials on the attack. Nothing happening for him, though, and it's a rebound for Kadrian McGlee, who flips it over to Notorious Grooms. Grooms and Winfrey both back in the game, both playing with 3 personal fouls. The ball goes to Braxton, back to Grooms. Easy look inside for Winfrey, who gets 2 and is then fouled by number 10, Evan Strimmel. And that's going to send Calvin Winfrey to the foul line here. 44-12 your score. And, of course, now, Tony, as you pointed out, the clock does not stop. Again, that's going to help Uniontown with the foul situation.
Correct. And Winfrey coming to the line. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He's got 8 points so far. Looking to make it 9.
And the shot from Winfrey is good. That will put Uniontown ahead 45-12. Ball comes in here to number 24, Shymir Wilson. Wilson goes back to Jackson. Jackson over the timeline to Blake White. White has some space, and he's going to take it. He floats one up, no good. And Tony, will the Colonials ever score again? They have just had no luck here. It's going to be Braxton on this side knocking down a 3. 48-12. Wilson moving one over to Belt. Now Belt across the timeline. Very nice move by Belt. He wants to go a whole way, and he floats one up. No good. Rebound. Blake White. White's going to have a good chance here to put one in, and he does. And there is your senior for the Colonials putting his foot down and getting that long-awaited basket for Albert Gallatin. Great effort there by Blake White. Kadrian McGlee, top of the key, brings it our way to Braxton, off of our wing, matched up against Wilson. Finds a little bit of space inside to Hager. Hager's going to pop it to the corner. Grooms for 3, no good. Easy rebound for Kadrian McGlee. McGlee tries to flip it over to Hager. Has the ball stolen by Jackson. And here's Blake White again. We'll see if he can get 2 more. And he has the ball taken away on his way to the basket. Recovered there by Strimmel. And Strimmel, just great court awareness we've seen so far from him tonight. He knows where he's at on the floor, knows how to take advantage of his positioning. Ball goes here to Grooms on the wing. Grooms matched up against Wilson. Moves it top of the key to McGlee. McGlee off of our elbow. Pass inside to Hager. Hager, I thought Tony for one moment was going for the dunk there. He pulls it back down and just lays it in.
Looked like he was going to try to do it there, Josh, but nice pass there by McLean to find the wide open Hager.
Here's Blake White again on the attack through the paint. Puts one up, no good. Rebound goes to Braxton. Braxton head to Grooms, and Grooms almost uncontested to the bucket for 2. And he's that much closer to 1,000 points. Uniontown is ahead 52-16. Ball comes in here for the Colonials' far sideline. This is Wilson. No, correction. That's Belt moving it ahead to Strimmel. Strimmel's going to bring it to high post. Goes to Jackson on the wing. Jackson on the drive. Appears to be fouled. And he's going to be shooting.
It's going to be on Hager. So Hager picks up his second foul. It's going to send Jason Jackson to the line. Jackson 0 for 2 from the line, has yet to score tonight for the Colonials.
Jackson at the foul line in a 52-16 ball game. First shot no good, 5:30 to play here in quarter number 3. Checking in, number 35, Tyrone Burton, the freshman center. Burton played a good first quarter for this Colonial team. We've not seen a whole lot of him since then, and maybe, Tony, that pressure from the Uniontown Red Raiders, not something that Coach Fleener wanted to expose a freshman to.
Exactly. I think that's exactly what happened.
Jackson knocks down the second shot, 52-17. Ball comes into Calvin Winfrey. Winfrey Brings it our way to Braxton. Quick pass, top of the key to McLee. Now in our corner, this is Hager looking inside. McLee with a little give and go there, but he's going to flip the pass back out to Braxton. And this one's taken away by Wilson to Strimmel. And then ahead for 2 points, Michael Belt. And now the Colonials have 19, 5:09 to play in quarter number 3. Ball goes to Hager now to Winfrey. Winfrey across the timeline, and he's going to be fouled by number 24, Shymir Wilson.
Wilson, that's his first, only the team first here in this third quarter. As we said, running clock with the 30-point advantage for Uniontown at the end of the quarter.
Braxton will send this one in from the sideline, right in front of his own bench. Big high floating pass to McLee near the timeline, then back to Winfrey, but Winfrey had not established himself back on the offensive side of the half-court line, so this is going to be a backcourt violation against the Uniontown Red Raiders.
And that was a good call. He did not establish. He came in and actually took the pass and kind of jumped over the line at the same time. So good call there by the ref.
Jason Jackson will step now in front of his own bench, and he tries to send this one in real quick to Belt, but it's poked away by number 34, Jameer Braxton for Uniontown. Now Jackson will get another try. He sends it way out to Wilson. Wilson, big pass to Belt from the opposite corner for 3, and that one's good. 52-22, 4 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. Grooms moving the ball ahead to Winfrey, now to McLee. And on our corner, this is going to be Braxton. Will travel on the baseline drive.
Braxton doesn't agree with it, but it's a walk. Coach Gismarski also voicing his opinion, but he shuffled his feet when he tried to make that ball fake. And Jameer Braxton kind of shrugging his shoulders here, but it's just one of those things.
Jackson sends this one into Belt, then back ahead to Jackson across the timeline. Jackson now back to Belt again. Belt working out of the near corner, and he's going to draw some contact. It's a blocking foul called against Braxton.
So Braxton picks up his second.
Jackson going to step out and send this one in. Nice move here by Wilson to create some space against Grooms and get the basketball. Pass inside to Belt on the drive. Belt fires one up, and he gets 2 more. Strong second half here so far by Michael Belt.
Belt with 7 points in this quarter.
Hager saves this pass back to Winfrey. Winfrey passing it through to Braxton off of our wing. Driving up against Jackson, loses control of the ball, and it's going to be an easy collection for Tyrone Burton. Now the ball goes ahead to Strimmel. Strimmel on the attack, and a wonderful pass back ahead to Burton, who cannot quite finish. Great effort there by Strimmel, firing one into the freshman. Now Uniontown coming the other way, letting loose a 3 as Groom's strong rebound here from Braxton. He just takes it away from Wilson. Now he wants to drive, working against Wilson. Wilson, a little bit of revenge here, pokes it out, gets the steal. Now he's going to lead the charge for the Colonials. Big pass ahead to Strimmel. Strimmel goes up for 2. He's blocked by McLee, but once again, Strimmel, he's just everywhere at once for this Colonial team. And a good look there at the basket as Blake White checks back in for the Colonials, and for Uniontown, it's going to be Milsom and Ellsworth.
Yeah, you're going to have McLee and Hager take a seat for the Uniontown Red Raiders. As we said, running clock. We're down to 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter.
It's hard to believe, Tony, how much faster the game moves in this way. But truly, yes, now under 2 minutes. Pass goes inside to Burton. Burton on the far elbow. Little pass back out to number 3 for the Colonials, Michael Belt. And we're going to have a turnover here. The Colonials apparently, Tony, perhaps you saw the signal.
Yeah, no, he called a walk. He called a walk on Belt as he shuffled his feet, trying to make a move too.
I was victimized again by the railing for just a second.
I know, this is not the most advantageous spot for us.
Grooms back to Milsom, and now back to Grooms in the corner. Milsom with the pass off the wing. Milsom's going to get a good-looking rebound here, but he's blocked by White. The block goes all the way back out to Winfrey, who gets an uncontested 3, but misses. Nice save there by Milsom, but he saves it right back to Jackson. Now coming far sideline is Belt. Belt cut off by Winfrey. He's going to get spun around, and he fires one out to Jackson, top of the key. Now our wing to Wilson for 3. Yes, 52-27 your score with 1 minute to play here in quarter number 3. For Uniontown, it's Grooms. Grooms across the timeline. Nice crossover working against Wilson. Now he goes to Milsom on the baseline. Quick pass to Townsend in the paint, who just checked in, and Townsend gets his own rebound, but cannot control it. It's going to be out of bounds off his knee, and the ball will go to the Colonials here with 42 seconds to play.
Uniontown still employing a full-court press.
Keeping that pressure up on the Colonials. Blake White gets cut off just as he crosses the timeline, and it's an easy steal for Grooms, who goes ahead to Winfrey, and Winfrey's going to lay in 2 more. 54 26-27 with 25 seconds to play. Jackson goes in here. That pass to Belt. And now to White is stolen by Winfrey, who goes on the attack, and Winfrey picks up another 2. So Calvin Winfrey here, a quick 4 points. Back-to-back possessions. This is a big floating pass out to Wilson. Our sideline, cut off right across the timeline. Big fire pass across. The Colonials trying not to get trapped. Rebound goes to Burton off the miss from Belt, and Burton's going to be fouled on the putback. And Tony, we've really seen it this quarter so far more than any other quarter to this point. Uniontown setting that trap right across the timeline, so even if the Colonials find a little bit of success, they get immediately trapped again, and the turnover just comes at half court.
Exactly. Really can't do anything much, and the time has run out, but now you're going to have Tyrone Burton at the line. He misses the first. Stay with him and see what he does on the second, and that's the end of the third quarter.
And that does bring the third quarter to a conclusion. Burton's second shot will bounce out, and so we'll be right back here for the fourth quarter of play from Albert Gallatin High School, where your score is Uniontown 56 and Albert Gallatin 27.
At Uniontown Printing Press, they are more than T-shirts. They are about you and everything you love. And they are local. Operated by Mookie John and Kenny Musco, they share the passion with your group, club, or team, the excitement you have for your event or cause, and that makes your business stand out from the rest. Uniontown Printing Press believes that custom T-shirts do more than just make you look good. They help you feel good and inspire you to do good. Call Uniontown Printing Press at 724-366-7095. That's 724-366-7095. Are you down with UPP?
Magisterial District Judge Daniel Shimshock wants you to stay safe during the winter months. When sending the kids off to school, make sure they are bundled up and watch the snow and ice. Take breaks when shoveling to make sure you don't overexert yourself. Magisterial District Judge Daniel Shimshock, wishing everyone a safe and fun winter season. That message from Magisterial District Judge Daniel Shimshock.
York Run here at Albert Gallatin High School. Joshua Scully alongside Tony Hanula on WMBS. The Uniontown Red Raiders lead 56-27. This inbound pass to start the quarter is nearly jumped by Blake White. It goes off of White's fingertips. And correction, they're going to say it went off of Calvin Winfrey's fingertips. Now the officials are going to confer for a moment. The ball appears to be staying with the Colonials. It will. And that's a tough call in a game that is not close. Had this game been close, Tony, I suspect that would have drawn the attention of Coach Kaczmarski. I don't think he would have been real pleased with that.
I would agree with that. I'm not so sure he's been whole happy with a lot of the calls he's seen tonight, but still he's up by, 28 right now, so it doesn't really matter.
And 2 more inside for Kadrian McGlee. Off the Grooms missed 3. McGlee gets the rebound under control, goes up, and gets fouled. 58-27. With 7:30 and ticking here at Albert Gallatin High School. The Colonials, of course, did not score in quarter number 2. Just 1 shot here from McGlee. They have given a very spirited effort here in the second half so far, but Uniontown had all the lead they needed at halftime, and they've guarded that lead pretty closely, Tony.
Every bit of. They've actually, Albert Gallatin outscored Uniontown 15-14 in that third quarter.
Here's Wilson operating from our corner, goes to Belt, top of the key. Belt waiting for the screen, gets cut off by Winfrey when the screen does not quite work out. He goes back to Wilson in the corner. Wilson drives into the paint, is fouled. No,
another block by Kadrian McGlee.
And the ball will stay with the Colonials. Kadrian McGlee, truly, Tony, from the perspective of the audience, when he jumps, he might leave the frame. If you're watching on Facebook Live, he gets off the floor incredibly. Ball comes in here to Belt. Belt, top of the key. Little handoff pass to Jackson. Jackson goes back to Belt on the give and go, but I think Belt may have been blocked there by Hager, and Belt's slow to stand up. Coming the other way is Braxton. He won't get 2 to go, but Grooms is there to finish it off. Notorious Grooms showing off his ability to get vertical. And the Colonials now trailing 61-27. Ball goes ahead here to Blake White. White baseline drive up for 2, and it's an easy 2. 61-29, 6:22 to play here in the ball game. Pass goes ahead to Grooms on the far sideline. Grooms going to make his move, working against the younger Belt. He gets 2 off the glass. Grooms, all of a sudden, Tony, he's making his presence felt here in the second half, specifically now in this quarter.
Yeah, he's got 10 points. He's 24 away from 1,000.
The Colonials launch a 3, no good. Rebound goes to Winfrey, and we're excited for Notorious Grooms. What an achievement as he climbs up the ranks of some tremendous Uniontown players. 2 more points here from Winfrey on the attack, and now the ball is going to go to Wilson. Wilson across the timeline is going to call out the play. He's going to wait for Jackson to come give him some help at the top of the key. Now moves it to Belt on the far wing, and we're going to have a foul possibly away from the basketball here, Tony.
They're going to call a moving screen on Shamir Wilson as he tried to set a pick against Jameer Braxton. So Wilson picks up his second, but it really doesn't matter much at this point in time.
65-29, 5:24 to play. Notorious Grooms across the timeline. Nice move here by Grooms. Goes to the corner for three, Hager. It rattles out on him, but Braxton is there to finish it off. And what a game for Braxton. You know, Tony, maybe he's the Red Raider that does not get talked about a whole lot, but he may very well be on the cusp of changing all of that. We're going to have a timeout here, a full timeout taken by Albert Gallatin. 67-31, 5:06 to play. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hey, you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle? Well, look no more, because with over 200 vehicles, Gary's Auto Sales is the largest used car dealer in the area. Whether you want a car, a truck, or an SUV, you'll absolutely find what you're looking for at Gary's. Gary's has been in business since 1974. You can visit them online at Gary'sAutoSales.com, or you can give them a call at 724-626-8080. Gary's Auto Sales. Many miles, many smiles.
Bad hair day, bad day at the office, bad day behind the wheel. Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sproul's Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to SproulsInsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Just 5 minutes to play here at Albert Gallatin High School, and the Uniontown Red Raiders have just turned over the basketball. Blake White with a beautiful steal in the paint. Now he's going to go the whole way. Coast to coast, Blake White lays it in, 67-33. And the Uniontown Red Raiders just 4 minutes and 48 seconds, though, from going 10-0. It's another steal by Blake White, and the Red Raiders are going to send up a whole new group. We'll have a travel by the Colonials on their approach to the basket this time. And we're going to see a new squad coming in for Uniontown with 4:33 to play. Tony, great effort from Uniontown. The first quarter was not bad, and since then, it's been lights out.
It's been all Uniontown, and we'll call it a complete line change here, and I don't think we'll see any of these guys back. So
I don't think so either, Tony. They're going to have a seat, and they're getting some applause. And we're going to see a couple of players here for the first time tonight. Townsend back in along with Milsom and Ellsworth. We've got number 24 on the floor for Uniontown, Marcus Heiss. And we've also got number 21 on the floor for Uniontown, the senior guard, Nick Torbidge. So a new group here for Uniontown. Pass goes into Milsom with 3:56 to play. Milsom gets the double team treatment here just before the timeline, and he's going to fight to control the basketball. Actually has it taken away, but it's saved by Ellsworth. Now Ellsworth coming the other way, flips it ahead to Townsend. Townsend goes baseline, tries to go back to Ellsworth. Ball taken away by Blake White. White coming the whole way, draws some contact against Nick Torbidge, and they're going to call this a blocking foul against Torbidge. Torbidge very close to having his feet set, and Blake White really laid into him. It became a football play for just a moment there, Tony.
Well, Torbidge is used to that, though.
Indeed.
He's a nice football player, had a great year for Uniontown, and he just stood his ground there, was ready to go.
Blake White gets the first one to make this game 67-34 with 3:32 to play. The Albert Gallatin Colonials back in action again later this week when they visit the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. Blake White knocks down a second shot. 67-35 your score. And Uniontown going to take their time, working against a little bit of pressure from the Colonials. This pass goes ahead to Heiss. Heiss off of our sideline, goes to Ellsworth. The big pass over to Milsom. Uniontown, of course, in no hurry here. Ball to Ellsworth, now to Heiss. Heiss, baseline jumper is good, and he hit that in the face of number 12, Jason Jackson. Jackson came over, was playing some great defense, had a hand exactly where you want it to be, but it's still knocked down by Heiss. Here's Wilson now for Albert Gallatin to Belt. Belt wants the attack, and the Uniontown student section here, right to Tony and I's right, really letting Albert Gallatin hear it. Here's Blake White on the drive, no good. Rebound goes to Nick Torbidge. Torbidge going to keep it himself. Now he moves it ahead, and this is going to be a corner three from Ellsworth. No good. Easy rebound by Townsend. Townsend fights it out and lays it in for two. And now we've got a 71-35 ball game. The Colonials with 2:38 to play. Going to see if they can't put a few more points on the board, but they're going to have a travel call as attacking the basket number 3, Michael Belt takes Just a couple too many steps, and the Colonials now, Tony, going to send in a second group of their own.
Yeah, another full line change for them as well. Checking in, going to be Malachi Thompson. Adam Pegg going to check in. Number 23 also is Ethan Kennedy. Strimmel's coming back. And also you got number 1, Chase White.
Chase White had a pretty solid outing in the junior varsity game earlier this evening, a very close junior varsity game. Here's a baseline jumper from Milsom, no good, and it's going to be White with the rebound. White now pushing it the whole way. Nice move by White, up off the glass, no good. Rebound pulled down for the Colonials by number 23, Ethan Kennedy, but his putback is no good. It's Uniontown basketball. Ball goes ahead to Heiss, then to Milsom, now back up top to Ellsworth. Ellsworth working against Strimmel. And Ellsworth's going to defer to Milsom, top of the key, 1:33 to play, so just about 90 seconds until Uniontown can officially say they are 10-0 to begin this season. Ball now in the hands of Ellsworth off the wing, back to Milsom. Milsom going to drive through the paint, and he gets an easy two. 73-35 your score with 1:17 to play. Strimmel working the far sideline, goes ahead to Kennedy in the corner. Now back to Strimmel on the wing. Strimmel on the drive, goes up for two, and Strimmel's played a very nice game. A lot of effort from that young man for this Colonial team and Coach Shea Fleener. Now coming the other way, Uniontown flips it ahead to Ellsworth, who launches the three, no good, and the rebound will go to Strimmel. Strimmel off to the races. He leads the charge for the Colonials all the way off the glass, and Evan Strimmel, what an effort from him. 73-39 with 45 seconds to play. Drive here for Uniontown, off the glass, Milsom, no good. Rebound pulled down by Kennedy, back to Strimmel. Strimmel, one-man show here so far over the last 2 minutes. He wants another drive and take and floats one up over Ellsworth. This one no good. Rebound pulled down by Townsend. Townsend loses control of the ball, and now it's in the hands of Kennedy for the Albert Gallatin Colonials. Kennedy on the take, and we'll have a whistle. Foul is going to be called against the Red Raiders. And, Tony, that may just about do it. 15 seconds to play here. The Colonials may get one more look at the basket. Ball coming in from number 5, Adam Pegg, to Chase White. White on the drive, no good, but he's going to be fouled, and that's going to run off the last few seconds. Chase White will step up to the foul line in a 73-39 game, and they're going to give the 2 foul shots to White. At first, it looked like the officials may have just waved that one off, but they're going to give White his 2 foul shots. Here's the first one, no good. And we'll see if White can't park the Colonials at an even 40 tonight. Second shot does roll in, so that will be your final score here from York Run at Albert Gallatin High School, 73-40. We're going to step away for just a moment. We'll be right back with the post-game statistics from tonight's contest.
When your car is damaged, the name to remember is Ted